for any players, Ian, that really want to get into the Latin thing, the Cuban thing, before I let you go, you've got to tell us what your sort of like your main bits of advice would be for these guys that want to kind of like, if they haven't really got into it at all, what should they start listening to? And if they are listening to it, what kind of, who should they be checking out?
Well, the important thing is that, for one, you got to make a distinction between Latin dance music and Latin jazz, because Latin jazz is really jazz.
Yeah.
So, and a lot of the best Latin jazz guys I know have a really good grasp of playing Latin dance music, and that's a big one. Really understanding, like gaining knowledge about the genre itself, who the great bands are, who the great, artists are, and also which one you like the most.
Yeah. Because
there's so many different styles of salsa alone, and that's just a one particular part of Latin music as a whole. There's all sorts of different kinds of South American music, like music from Venezuela, music from Peru, music from, and I'm just talking about like Afro-Latin stuff.
Yeah.
There's non, African diaspora Latin music too, from all different parts of Latin America. So it's a very broad topic, and it's a matter of which one interests you the most, because there is a niche to be found, in any of those styles.
Yeah.
So but also the patience of understanding that it's not going to happen right away, and it takes a lot of for some people might take to it quickly. I don't know. I didn't. It took me many, many years of making a complete and utter idiot out of myself on stage with people, not having the right sound, not knowing, like the whole thing I talked about, not knowing what the percussion parts were and how to lock in with that. That was such an epiphany for me, because nobody told me in very many words that was what you were supposed to do, or or the mechanics of how that worked. And of course, if I'm in there are certain styles of Latin music that I don't know very well, that, because I don't know those nuances and details. I sometimes will feel like a fish out of water doing them, because, they use different kinds of concepts of how the percussion and bass fit together. There are some universal things that cross between genres, but they are different. Like playing salsa is not going to prepare you for playing like Peruvian festejo or landau or things like that. I love that stuff, and I actually do play a little bit of that stuff, and really into that. But like, for instance, certain kinds of certain kinds of like obscure, like folkloric, like Colombian Afro folkloric stuff. I don't really know a lot about that. And I would not confidently say that I play it. So that's the thing. It's like making those kind of distinctions and realizing that there's a lot of variables at play, and you can only get good at so many things, and Absolutely, it's okay,
And being comfortable with not being amazing at everything,
you got to have your thing, and obviously you need to be versatile enough so you can work as a musician, but I mean, I had to make conscious decisions to consciously concentrate in practicing alliteration and in a specific style, because that was speaking to me, and I was like, well, there's other things that I could do in New York that would probably make me more money right away. I have experience as a wedding band musician, and I could go and do that if I wanted to. Yeah. But I came here to do this. I really need to try to concentrate in this, and you don't get very many chances to do that. So.
Man. Absolutely, man. Ian, can I say, man, I think your story is super, super inspiring, man. Like, I really do, and I think loads of the guys and girls that are listening to this will find the same thing. I think it's just really fresh to hear your whole progression right through to where you are now, and just how you've really carved a thing out for yourself. I absolutely think it's just a great thing to hear the inner workings of how you've done that.